Welcome to NCIX Tech Tips. Today's episode is about the Samsung Series 9 970D monitor. This is, without a doubt, the most beautiful screen that either Slick or I have ever seen in every possible way, whether it's the aesthetic of it or whether it is the screen itself. So we're going to tell you more about this pretty cool monitor that looks great but also isn't cheap. Now on the screen you guys can see we have Trine 2 running. This is on a GeForce GTX 680 because to run at the native 2560 by 1440 resolution you need some serious graphics horsepower. We have it running with full anti-aliasing, so you can see that even though we are zoomed right in on the display, it looks very clear and very sharp. That's because of the density of the pixels on this display plus the anti-aliasing technology that's being used. Now, not only is there resolution, and a lot of monitors get sold based on resolution and size, this 27-inch monitor is using a PLS display. So the PLS display enables over 1 billion colors to be shown on the screen and to be accurately portrayed. So PLS is a technology that, as if you guys have watched previous editions of NCIX Tech Tips, you probably already know that I am a huge fan of, whether it's on a tablet, whether it's on a more normal professional monitor, or whether it is on a premium consumer model such as the one that we have here in front of us. Samsung also hasn't compromised on other things such as the response time. It still has a 5 millisecond response time, which is very respectable for a high resolution panel like this one, especially when I compare things like the one that I use at home, which is a 305T, an older Samsung high-res monitor, as well as, and this is a cool part to build into the spec for the model, a 90% uniformity spec. So uniformity refers to the backlight of the monitor. So this uses an LED backlight, which tends to be more uniform from the get-go, but they're also saying that in terms of the brightness, you're not going to have bright spots or halo effects because they're saying you will have at least 90% uniformity on this display. Now, aside from being one of the most beautiful display panels that either Slick or I have seen, this is far and away the most beautiful industrial design that I have ever seen on a monitor. So the front of the monitor uses a single edge-to-edge glass panel. This is an anti-reflective glass. Now, there is still definitely some reflection, as you guys can probably tell on the monitor. It is less noticeable when you have brighter things on the background. I mean, the same rules usually apply, and it's definitely much better than those plastic reflective surfaces. So if I had to choose my favorites, I would go glass monitor, then I'd go matte screen, then I'd go plastic reflective screen, because the glass really brings out the vibrance and the color and the sharpness without looking as ugly and horrible as those plastic ones. So let's go ahead and take a closer look at the rest of the monitor itself. Around the outside, you can see we've got a metal frame that runs almost all the way around the outside of the monitor itself seamlessly, which looks very elegant. On the back of the monitor, we find Samsung's, there's not many guys who are doing this, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to say Samsung's trademarked brushed plastic look. So this is the same thing that we saw in the Galaxy Tab 10.1, where it looks like brushed aluminum. It looks exactly like brushed aluminum, but the key difference is that it's lighter. It is also easier to clean compared to brushed aluminum. With brushed aluminum, you pick up your monitor like this, and it's going to leave huge, horrible fingerprints all over the back of it just from moving it around or adjusting the height adjust. So I personally am a huge fan of the brushed plastic look. From the back, you can also see the height adjust stand. So this is like a very shiny sort of stainless steel stand that has about 4 or 5 inches of height adjust. So I'm moving the monitor here. On the back, you can also see the inputs. So we've got DisplayPort, HDMI, DVI, as well as power and USB. USB is for the built-in hub. And so that is a USB 2 hub that you can use to plug in your peripherals or, a USB thumb drive or whatever else you have the desire to plug in. The base is fairly elegant as well. So check this out. It's got touch sensitive buttons on the bottom that you can use to navigate your various inputs. We're going to go ahead and change back to DisplayPort, which is what we're using to drive the monitor off that GeForce GTX 680. And then the bottom looks like the monitor is floating a little bit with a silver ring above a black base that just sort of recedes down towards the table. So it makes it look, like I said, like it's floating off the table a little bit. So in conclusion, guys, I'll take 3. If only it was that simple. I don't think I ever showed you guys the tilt functionality, so it does have tilt. Basically, I'm a firm believer that you should spend proportionately on your monitor. Your monitor is probably one of the pieces of your computer that you will keep for the longest compared to a CPU or a graphics card or whatever else. So you want something that you can look at. It has to be like a centerpiece wherever you put it and not be, uglified by it. So while I can't say everyone should run out and buy one of these, I can say I would love to have, like I said, 3 of them. So if anyone from Samsung's watching, my address is, I'll let you know. But I think that pretty much covers it. Yes, this is a super, super premium monitor. Yes, it achieves what it's going for in terms of the display quality and in terms of the overall fit and finish of it. And yes, it is expensive, but if you guys do ever have a chance to check one out in person, what you should do is you should leave a comment on the video and let me know if you are as impressed with this 9 series monitor as I am. Don't forget to subscribe to NCIX Tech Tips.